know that specific kind of quiet? It's not peaceful. It's heavy. It's 9 p.m. on a Tuesday. You're sitting 3 feet away from the person you love, scrolling through your phone. But you feel like you're on a different planet. They sigh, just once. And suddenly, your chest tightens. You don't look up. You can't. Because if you look up, you have to acknowledge the gap. And right then, your brain starts whispering the things you're too afraid to say out loud. Is this it? Did we just run out of things to say? Am I boring them? Do they even see me anymore? You feel alone, in the same room, with the person who promised you'd never be alone again. Here's the truth that no one tells you. The relationship didn't get harder because your love faded. It got harder because your safety did. You are not failing at love. This is not a sign that you chose the wrong person. Every couple that has ever loved each other deeply has stood exactly where you are standing right now, staring into the void of the unspoken. But there is a way back, not by trying harder, but by understanding the invisible architecture of your connection. By the end of this video, you will know exactly how to rebuild that safety, brick by brick, so the silence stops feeling like a wall and starts feeling like peace. Let's get into it. Most couples believe that distance is caused by a lack of effort. They think, if we just went on more dates, or if we just communicated better, or if we just tried harder to fix this, the spark would return. They treat emotional drift like a mechanical problem that needs a technical solution. But the real truth is much deeper and much more biological. Your partner's nervous system is reading you before their mind can even catch up. When safety leaves a relationship, the love doesn't disappear. It goes underground. It hides behind defenses. What looks like stonewalling is usually someone who has been so overwhelmed for so long that silence is the only protection they have left. What looks like nagging is often an anxious attachment system screaming for reassurance because it feels like it's drowning. You don't drift apart because you stopped caring. You drift apart because you stopped being curious about each other's internal worlds. You stopped asking, what is happening beneath the surface for you right now? And started assuming you already knew. And when you assume, you stop seeing the human in front of you. You start seeing a problem to manage. This isn't about incompatibility. It's about the anxious avoidance cycle playing out between two people who both actually want the same thing: to feel seen, to feel safe, to feel chosen. But they're speaking different emotional languages. One is shouting for closeness, the other is retreating for safety. And until you understand the nervous system dynamics at play, you will keep fighting the symptoms instead of healing the cause. Here are the 5 shifts that change everything. First, let me talk about the myth of fixing versus the power of witnessing. Most people in relationships believe that when their partner shares a struggle, their job is to offer a solution. They hear a problem, and their brain immediately jumps to, how do I make this go away? It feels helpful. It feels proactive. But here's the deeper psychological truth. When you rush to fix, you are inadvertently signaling that their emotion is too big for you to hold. You are treating their vulnerability as an inconvenience to be resolved, rather than an experience to be shared. For the partner sharing, this feels like rejection. Their brain quietly registers, he doesn't want to hear my pain, he just wants it to stop. Imagine this scenario. Your partner comes home stressed about work. In the disconnecting version, you say, well, why don't you just talk to your boss? That's an easy fix. They shut down. They feel misunderstood. In the connecting version, you put your phone down. You look them in the eye. You say, that sounds incredibly draining. I'm here with you. You don't offer a single piece of advice. You just offer your presence. And when you do that, the walls between you start to come down, without either of you having to say a word. That's the shift that turns a relationship that feels like a negotiation into one that feels like a refuge. Second, consider the 30-second repair window. Most couples wait for the perfect time to reconnect after a conflict. They let the tension simmer for days, hoping it will just blow over. They think giving space means giving silence. But here's the part no one talks about. Emotional distance in a relationship isn't like a wall. It's like scar tissue that forms slowly over 100 small moments that never got repaired. Your nervous system in a conflict is like a smoke detector. It cannot tell the difference between your partner raising their voice and actual danger. So it sounds the alarm regardless. If you don't reset that alarm quickly, the baseline stress of your relationship rises permanently. Consider the morning after a fight. In the disconnecting version, you walk past each other in the kitchen, avoiding eye contact, pretending nothing happened. The air is thick with unsaid words. In the connecting version, you walk up to them while the coffee is brewing. You touch their arm gently. You say, "I hated how we left things last night. I miss you." You don't rehash the argument. You just bridge the gap. That's when your partner stops feeling like a problem to manage and starts feeling like a person to come home to. Intimacy isn't built in the big moments. It's built in the 30-second ones, when you choose to look up. Third, practice curiosity over certainty. Most people enter conversations with their partners already certain of what the other person is thinking. I know why he's quiet. I know she's upset about the dishes. We project our own insecurities onto their behavior. We fill in the blanks with our worst fears. But here is what nobody explains. Certainty is the enemy of connection. When you think you know what your partner is feeling, you stop listening. You stop being curious, and curiosity is the oxygen of love. Listen to the internal monologue. In the disconnecting version, they are quiet at dinner. You think, they're bored of me. You withdraw to protect yourself. In the connecting version, they are quiet at dinner. You think, I wonder what's going on for them. You ask, you seem quiet tonight. Is there something on your mind, or do you just need some quiet company? What's moving through them is often relief. She doesn't need me to perform. She just wants to know me. This isn't a communication hack. This is just what two emotionally mature people naturally do. They remain open to the mystery of each other, even after years together. Fourth, understand the difference between complaining and criticizing. Most couples believe that expressing dissatisfaction is the same thing. They think, I'm just being honest. But there is a massive neurological difference between complaining about a behavior and criticizing a character. Complaining says, I felt hurt when you forgot to call. It focuses on a specific event. Criticizing says, you are so selfish. You never think about anyone but yourself. It attacks the person's identity. When you criticize, your partner's nervous system goes into defense mode. They can't hear your pain because they are busy protecting their ego. They feel attacked. Their brain screams, I am not safe here. In the disconnecting version, you say, you're always on your phone. You don't care about us. In the connecting version, you say, I feel lonely when we're together and you're on your phone. I'd love to have 10 minutes of just us. Not louder conversations. Not more compromising. Not scheduling a weekly check-in. But two people who actually feel safe enough to be honest with each other. For the first time in years. That's the shift. When you speak to the behavior, not the character, you invite collaboration instead of combat. Fifth, and perhaps most importantly, master turning toward the bid. This is the most important point. Most couples miss hundreds of tiny opportunities for connection every single day. Psychologist John Gottman calls these bids. A bid is any attempt for attention, affirmation, or affection. A sigh, a comment about the weather, a shared meme. Most people in relationships turn away from these bids because they are distracted, tired, or preoccupied. They don't realize that every time they turn away, they are making a withdrawal from the emotional bank account. In the disconnecting version, your partner says, look at that bird. You don't look up. You keep scrolling. The bid dies. In the connecting version, your partner says, look at that bird. You look up. You say, wow, that's beautiful. You connected, even for a second. Her brain is quietly registering. He actually saw me this time. It seems small. It feels insignificant. But these micro moments are the foundation of trust. They build the reservoir of goodwill that gets you through the hard times. This isn't a trick for avoiding conflict. This is what it looks like when someone has learned to love without losing themselves in the process. It's choosing to be present, again and again, in the mundane. This isn't a checklist. It's an invitation to show up differently. And that changes everything about what's possible between you and the person you chose. When you internalize this, you stop reacting and start responding. You stop seeing your partner as an adversary and start seeing them as an ally who is also scared, also longing, and also trying. You are becoming the kind of partner who creates safety. And safety is the soil where love grows back. Real intimacy doesn't start when you find the right person. It starts when you decide to become one. If this resonated with you, if you felt seen in any of these points, hit that like button. It helps this message reach other couples who are silently struggling in the same room. And subscribe if you want to continue this journey of building a love that lasts, not by luck, but by design. Tell me in the comments, which of these 5 shifts feels the hardest for you right now? Let's talk about it, because you are not alone in this. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.